Guys, talk to me nice.
Welcome back to Sports Tea. Welcome back to Sports Tea.
Talk to me nice. Nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Tea. I know it's been a couple of days, okay? And I have to say, Indian food just doesn't agree with me no matter how hard I try to make it work. It just doesn't. So no more Indian food for me. How's everybody doing? I see we've got a couple people here so far watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys can do me a favor as you load into the room, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. This one is really important, guys. Share the video out to your social media, share it with your friends and family. If you like the content, then certainly let people know about it so we can grow the community. So anyway, I do want to jump right into this Knicks game because I have so much to celebrate with you guys. My Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Can you believe that? The Eastern Conference Finals? Seriously, I'm on my New York shit tonight, guys, okay? I'm from New York. Isn't it so great to be from New York? If anybody is from New York in the chat, salute to you. Salute to everybody who's from Harlem. Shout out to Harlem. Shout out to Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, the Bloody X, Staten Island. It's up right now in New York. You have no idea, guys. Like, New Yorkers don't know what to do with themselves. We're extremely happy, extremely excited. This hasn't happened for us for 25 years. So let me just say that. The Knicks have not been to the Eastern Conference Finals in so long. Let's just go right on ahead and jump into this game. When we take a look at the team stats, I mean, Jaylen Brown led his team. I mean, Jason Tatum was out in Game 6. They won in Game 5. He wanted to put the team on his back. I called Jaylen Brown the real captain. You know, he spoke out. He said the following, and obviously this isn't Game 2, but this was a blowout. But this is what Jaylen Brown said ahead of Game 5.
After Jason went down, a lot of the talk around the team or on the outside felt very final, that things were over. People were talking about next season already, the off season already. Did you guys hear any of that talk? Did that bother you?
I can only speak for myself. I'm not sure about the rest of the guys, but what I will say is I appreciate the fans that showed up tonight. You know, it was a great atmosphere. It was loud, you know, and I know it's easy to kind of write things off. Obviously, unfortunate what happened at JT, but we still got basketball to be played. You know, I believe in this group, so, you know, don't count us out just yet.
You heard him, guys. Don't count them out just yet.
I mean, that's just who they are as people. I mean, just the character of those guys. A lot of these guys been around the league a long time, and they've seen a lot. And to me, you just rely on the character of the guys, the togetherness, the staff. At the end of the day, you don't get to pick the test that you have. You just pick how you respond to them, and you know, and that's kind of how life works. You know,
that's kind of how life works. You know, I guess. The Celtics got blown out in Game 6, okay? That's how the story ended. But Jaylen Brown, he was their leading scorer. He tried to put the team on his back as much as he could, even though they gave him nothing. So his team did not perform for him at all. OG Anunoby, he led the Knicks. And I mean, it was just a flat-out blowout. When you look at this box score, Knicks shot 91 times, made 42 to the Celtics 31 field goals, but they made more threes. They hit 16 of them, which I believe was a series high. They hadn't been hitting many threes in prior games, and the Celtics only hit 12 threes. So the Knicks also went to the line double the amount of times. They went to the line 21 times. So it seemed like the referees wanted to help the Knicks, or, you know, they had a little bit of home cooking, who knows, but they shot 90% from the line. And the Celtics only went 10 times. They only had 10 free throws. that they could take advantage of. So they hit 7 of them, not awful, but 70% is just not better than 90%, right? The Knicks assisted the ball better. They turned the ball over less. They had more fast break points. It was just a blowout. They led at one point by 41 points. That was their largest lead. It was an absolute disgrace on the Celtics' part, in my opinion, just because they shouldn't have gotten stomped out like that. When you take a look at the Knicks box score, look at this. They delivered over 20 points from their bench, actually 19 points from the bench. Then they delivered, look at their starters. Their starters are all in double digits. So they played a very good closeout game, I would say. They made their free throws. They were decent from behind the arc. OG hit 4 3-pointers out of 13. I don't know why he's shooting the ball so much. But again, when you can rely on your team, when you're clicking, when you're gelling, you can get the ball in your teammates' hands and they'll do something with it if they are a professional. That's the bottom line. NBA players, and the Knicks prove this, that NBA players are professional. And it doesn't all boil down to the star player. And I can't say it enough that this 2025 postseason of the NBA, it's about team basketball. It's been about the role players. It's been about who's the best team, who can win as a team. That's really what it's about. And so when we take a look at what the Celtics did, they were god awful. The Celtics did practically nothing. Al Horford was the second best starter, but yet Peyton Pritchard gave Jaylen Brown and the Celtics much more off the bench. The second leading scorer came off the bench for the Celtics. So this was an awful game for them, absolutely awful. Derek White from the Olympic team, 8 points. Drew Holiday from the Olympic team, 4 points. Mind you, Jaylen Brown was left off the Olympic team, yet he was forced to lead this team. He was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP last season and the Finals MVP in their title run. Yet they want to assert Jason Tatum as the best player on the floor. Yet they want to, not give Jaylen Brown his props and put him on the Olympic team. Yet look at him, the leader of this team, the true captain. So when we take a look at where the Celtics really lost this game, it's right here. They were blown out in the second quarter. The second quarter, just blown off the goddamn floor. When you take a look at this, look at all the shots that they missed. In the second quarter, they only hit 5 shots. That's it. Look at the Knicks killing them in the paint and from behind the arc. An absolute blowout. But what I want to share with you guys is how happy New Yorkers are. Some of the best New Yorkers ever, some of the greatest New York Knicks fans have spoken out. And Spike Lee. So Spike Lee, he had a interview with the boardroom and he talked with Rich Kleiman. So they sat down for a conversation, and it's funny because Rich Kleiman, he says, so as you know, the Mark Jackson era is my favorite Knicks era, right? This Starks, Oakley, Mark Jackson era, and obviously you love every era of the Knicks. You're as loyal as they get. But is this era the era in your mind that has more of your heart than any other time in Knicks history? ? Spike Lee says, yes, for sure. I love these guys. Let me tell a quick story, though. Every time I see John Starks, I hug him. Going back, Game 5, Reggie Miller went insane. That the next day, my face is on the cover. I'm on the front and the back of the Daily News, front and the back of the New York Post, front and the back of Newsday. I was the most hated person in New York City. The next game was Game 6 in Indiana, and people were saying, the radio, Spike, don't go. I said, I gotta go. Then before the game, I visit Mike Tyson because he was in prison in Indiana. The whole prison's against me. So that game, Indiana was up in the fourth quarter and the ushers put up a court rope to stop like a stampede. And then John Starks got hot. So right now, John is probably tired of getting hugged every time he sees the Spike. But he says, all right, I even know number hugs. And the reason why I hugged them is because the season was extended to Game 7. Came back to the Garden to tip in by Patrick. Spike Lee goes on to say, my father was a Knicks fan. It's who you are. It's in your blood. It's in your blood. And also, we haven't won an NBA championship in over 50 years. That's 5 decades. Rich Kleiman says, I cannot imagine what you'll be like when the Knicks win another championship. Man, I can't even. Spike Lee says, New York, Matt, is going to be insanity. It is. New York is going to be complete insanity. I couldn't agree more. So yeah, I mean, if the Knicks were to win a title this year, and can the Knicks even make it to the finals? So forget the title. Can they even make it to the finals? I'm curious what you guys have to say. What do you think out of all of this? Can the Knicks make it to the finals? Salute to you, Spurzan. Nice to see you, Ace of Rage. I see James Maxwell in here. Sabrina Kelly, my girl. Goatcast Hoops, nice to see you. Salute to Man Down Sports. M. Solomon, nice to see everyone in the chat. Don't forget, hit that like button for me. I do just want you to hear from one. I don't know. Sometimes we call him a bandwagon Knick fan. Sometimes we tell him don't come back to the Garden. But I need you guys to hear this soundbite from Stephen S. Smith.
And he's got a special guest with him, New York Knicks legend John Starks in the house. Gentlemen, I go to you. What is your reaction from what you saw tonight?
I will start off with you, John Starks. Take it away, man.
It was amazing. I expect them to come out and win this game, but not in this fashion, as we talked about. It was a defensive-minded team starting off the game, and offensively they just went on an explosion. And I said earlier today that, you know, you have to treat Jaylen Brown like Jason Tatum.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's going to get here, but you have to shut everybody else off. And the Knicks did a beautiful job of that. And the outcome was what it was.
I got to tell you something. Coming into this game, looking at what the Knicks were doing, getting outscored on fast break points, getting outscored on points off turnovers, you knew they weren't getting back on defense nearly as well as they should have. And I said to myself, it's got to start there defensively. The Celtics had 37 points in the first half. The New York defense just put the clamps on them. You had balanced scoring. Only 4 times this postseason did a team have 4 guys score 20-plus points. The New York Knicks did it twice, okay, in this series alone. Did it once against Detroit, and Denver was the only other team. This New York Knicks team came to play tonight. They annihilated and beat down the reigning defending NBA champions, albeit without Jason Tatum. I expected the New York Knicks to lose, although I was a little scared, John. I ain't gonna front. I was a little scared after what I saw Wednesday night. But even that, I still expected the New York Knicks to win. I did not expect a beatdown. That's what happened to the Boston Celtics tonight. Derek White went from 34 points and 7 3-pointers to a total of 8 points. He's a champion. Drew Holiday is a 2-time champion. He had 4 points. 4. And then you look at Cornette, the second coming of Bill Walton in Game 5. He came crashing down to earth like the reserve that he normally is. He had 5 points and 5 rebounds after having 7 blocks in Game 5. So I am very pleased. I am very ecstatic on behalf of all New Yorkers everywhere.
On skies. What'd you say?
On,
there you go. There you go. On your blue skies.
Oh, I can just feel it in New York right now. Guys, I got to tell you, we're watching the game, and we see everybody courtside. We see Ben Stiller. We see you guys. We see it's like a who's who of New York royalty on the sidelines. What's the atmosphere like there for MSG in that Game 6? What did it feel like for you?
It's crazy. You know what it is that the celebrities that comes here, and we always talk about this, is they come to be a fan and enjoy basketball. It's not like out on the West Coast. It's here on the East Coast. They come and truly enjoy being a fan of basketball, and you can sense it. You know, I had guys coming down to me, slapping hands and stuff. So they into it, and that's a beautiful thing about New York. And we in the Mecca. Come on now, we in the Mecca, and that's how we do it.
Well, here's the deal. Usually, just their disposition the Larry Johnsons, the Latrell Sprewells, the Patrick Ewings of the world, even when they smile, it's basically a grin. They've been showing all their pearly whites tonight. I mean, you should have seen everybody. I mean, they understood what this moment is.
It was
It's
a big
been
moment.
since 1999
Yeah.
that the New York Knicks have closed out a series at Madison Square Garden. That makes this the first time in 26 years. This
Wow.
is a very, very big deal. And I believe, John Starks, this is the best shot that the New York Knicks have had at a championship in 30 plus years. The 30 years, I'm sorry, okay? This is it right here. It's right there. It's in front of your face, okay? You need 4 more. Indiana's no joke. Exceptionally well coached by Rick Carlisle, but damn it, we'll deal with that Wednesday. Right now, it's Friday night, and we got until Wednesday to celebrate what has just transpired.
Yes, we
Going
do.
to the conference
And I
finals.
have to get
Going to
this
the
man
conference
off my back.
Yeah.
I have to get this man off my
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So New York, let's get it done. All right, let's
right.
get it done.
I love you. I love you. It's just a memory. It's just a memory. It was one game. It's a game 7, NBA Finals. Okay, it hurts me, but I love you. I love you to death.
There you
did
go. That's
so
what I
much.
like.
You did so much. And by the way, Jalen Brunson came up to me and said,
Yeah.
"I have nothing to say to you." Carl Anthony Towns said, "You picked the wrong team," because I picked Boston before the series began.
Oh.
I, like everybody else in America, changed my mind.
Wow.
I just thought it was so hilarious. The funniest thing that Stephen A. Smith said was he talked about the reserve that went right back into his role. Some of these NBA players, they look like superstars in one game, and then we're all hype about them, right? And then they go right back into their rightful place, as a role player that might not make it so great in that game. So, it's just interesting how Stephen S. Smith words things sometimes, and it's just hilarious how excited he is about the Knicks winning after saying that they were going to lose, and also just kind of not believing in the team. He is, I'm not going to call him a bandwagon fan. I'm going to call Stephen A. Smith a fair weather fan. So that's what, I was raised to kind of call people like Stephen A. Smith. If you give up on your team, or you switch teams, or you start complaining about your team and you're down and out on them, then you're a fair weather fan. That's what that makes Stephen A. Smith. I thought that something Spike Lee said that was really interesting was that being a New Yorker, being a New York Knicks fan, it's in your blood. That really is how it is. It's similar to being an Eagles or a 76ers fan. Philly, New York, like, we're very intense about our teams. We love our teams, and we love them because it's where we're from. We don't love the team because of a player. So players are going to come and go, but the team stays, the organization stays. The organization is there to stay. So why are we out here loving these players when they're going to come and go? Players retire, they get injured, maybe they get traded. All kinds of things happen. So we're not going to get crazy attached to players in New York City. We love the team, and we are going to root for our team through and through, no matter what. Win or lose. Win or lose, we expect our players to fight. Win or lose, we're going to support them and root for them. And that's just how it is. So cheers to the New York Knicks. Super, super duper excited that they have won and have gone on to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is incredible. And I'm just so excited for them. As a New Yorker, I can't be more excited. And just this feeling of so much pride, New York pride. It's just an incredible feeling. So, shout out to the New York Knicks. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau. I've been criticizing him all season, and some of what he does has built a strong team, a resilient team that's ready to win in late game situations when their back is up against the wall. So he deserves credit. Jalen Brunson deserves credit for being one of the best trades in Knick history. So the Knicks are doing the right things. Jalen Brunson, Rick Brunson, that combination of a father, that's the real father and son duo that we should be talking about this season. Jalen Brunson, Rick Brunson, they're the real father and son duo. But instead, the NBA and, Adam Conehead Silver decided to investigate Brunson and the Knicks. They decided to investigate Jalen Brunson and his dad, but not LeBron James and Bronny James, the mysterious drafting of Bronny James to the NBA. Nobody investigated that. Anyway, we can go on and on and on and on and on about that. But we're going to get into the OKC game, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets, and I was wrong. So I'm here to say, guys, that I was wrong. I could have sworn that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and OKC, they were not real contenders. I was calling them pretenders. I was saying they couldn't get out of the second round hole. I was wrong about them. I was wrong about the Knicks, and I was wrong about the Timberwolves, and I was pleasantly wrong. So I'm excited that I was wrong about this year's postseason. I'm excited that the Knicks and the Timberwolves were not just a first round knockout. I'm pleasantly surprised and super excited. So let me just say that. And for SGA, for him to hopefully win the MVP, the fact that they have yet to announce this is absolutely insane to me. I just find it totally crazy. And, I was going to talk about the Golden State Warriors and how, Giannis is eyeing the Warriors, which I thought was a much better fit than the Lakers. So I'm totally fine with that. He'll have Steph Curry and a shooter. Steph Curry will have him and a bum rusher of the lane. He's got a younger version of LeBron that they've been, vying for. And he's got a guy that would play defense. So Giannis to Warriors, I'm a huge fan of that trade. Giannis to the Spurs, I'm a fan of that trade as well. But anyhow, let's jump into this OKC Nuggets game. It was another blowout, so I'm not going to spend that much time on it. I thought that Nikola Jokic, he scored 20 points. He led the Denver Nuggets. I don't think that he played that well. I don't think that he played. I mean, it was a blowout, so it didn't really matter what he did. I don't think that he made much of an impact on the floor. So Shai Gilgeous, 35 points, 12 of 19 from the floor, shot very well from free throw land. When you take a look, this was just a blowout. I mean, OKC put up 96 shots, made 47 of them to Denver's 33 made shots. Again, they made more three-pointers. OKC is not a good three-point shooting team. Denver shot awful. I mean, when I was watching this game and seeing how many bricks they had, I was absolutely disgusted. I couldn't even watch. I had to just go do something else because I was so just disgusted by the amount of bricks that the Denver Nuggets were shooting. They shot 44 threes. All of them were bricks except 10. I don't even remember the 10 shots that went in because it just felt like every single shot was a miss. They could not make anything to save their asses. Free throws, 17 of 22. Obviously, the Thunder went to the line twice more and made 2 more. They assisted the ball better. They just did everything better. Look at it. Assists, steals, rebounds. Everything was done better. They turned the ball over way less. I mean, look at this, 23 effing turnovers for the Denver Nuggets. Can't win like that. The largest lead was 43 points, and Denver had a lead. In the first quarter, they were leading. Second and third quarter, I mean, it got away from them. It's nothing they could do. Can move on to the box score. Look at what OKC was able to do. And this is just a testament to the depth that they have. This is a testament to the good team that they are. But even with being a good team, SGA still scored 35 points. So it's not like he's just like a role player on his team like Jokic fans will try to assert. That's not true. He is their star player. He's a superstar in this league, and he should be the MVP this year. I don't know what's taking the NBA so long. They want to give it to Jokic so bad because of, I guess, the supposed Wilt Chamberlain year that he had, even though it wasn't Wilt Chamberlain's year at all. SGA had the better season. Without him, his team doesn't win. His team doesn't have this season. His team doesn't make it to the Western Conference Finals. Denver Nuggets have won some games without Jokic. Pretty sure they beat the Lakers with Luka Doncic on the floor without Jokic. And I could be wrong, so anybody feel free to jump in there and correct me, but they have won games this season without Jokic. Yet, their team members don't do anything. Denver has nobody. They have no help. for Jokic. We take a look at Denver's box score. I mean, Christian Braun scored just as much as Jokic, 19 to 20. Aaron Gordon came up short, 8 points. 1 of 3 from behind the arc. Michael Porter, 0% from 3. They just couldn't make it happen. And when you take a look at where they lost this game, it was in the second quarter. It was a goddamn blowout. They were beat off the floor by like 20 points in the second quarter. You take a look at this second quarter, OKC completely mopped the floor with them. They couldn't buy a shot in the paint, outside. It's ridiculous. But here's what Jokic had to say. I think that Jokic is so humble, and I think that that is why so many people don't want to criticize him. Every player who's on the floor deserves to be criticized, no matter who they are. But he doesn't deserve to be criticized for what he says post game. And that's something that I think people need to just like come right out and say. Just come right out and say it. If you hate certain players because of what they do and say those things. But, Jokic's play on the court needs to be criticized, but what he says post game is not all that bad. So let's hear it and we'll react.
And he's got a special guest with him.
Joker, I know it just happened. You're still processing, but what are some of your early takeaways from this game and this series as a whole for you guys?
I mean, this game was basically similar to second game. We turned the ball over. We didn't make enough shots. They were aggressive. They were running in transition. They were attacking us back. They were playing on our heels. They were attacking the offensive glass. They were making shots. Two same officials as the second game. So it's kind of similar to the second game.
Nicole, do you leave this series feeling like you guys are still close to being able to win another championship, or what are your thoughts after 2 game sevens? And I know you dealt with health issues, not you, but Aaron and Michael. Do you feel like this team could still win a championship as it's put together now?
I mean, we didn't, so obviously we can't. If we could, we will win it. So I don't believe in those if stuff. So we had the opportunity, we didn't win it. So I think we can't.
Your impressions and your appreciation for what Aaron Gordon did today to get on the court for you guys.
Yes. I mean, definitely playing with that injury. I mean, I told him to not play. You can injure yourself even worse. You can see that he was struggling a little bit, hard to move and this and that. So, but he's alive. He went out there and fight with us, and we can just appreciate that.
Nicola, what can you coming into this series? Obviously, a big storyline, and it was the matchup between you and SGA, and you guys being two of the top MVP candidates this year. After a 7-game series with him, what would you just say about the respect you might have earned from him, or just your approach and what you think about Shea and the season that he's had?
I mean, it's amazing. We played so how many? 4 and 7 games, so 11 times we played this season. Actually, I think did we play preseason too one time? So we played like a lot of times. We saw him a lot of times, and he's a special player. His shot selection, his shots capability of making his own shot separation, playing in his rhythm. Defensively, he was like always stealing the balls, always blocking shots. He's like a little I don't know how to say, like a little punter out there. He was always there. So he's a special player.
Obviously, David Adelman was put in a very unique situation with a few games left in the season. What do you think about the job that he did since moving over to head coach and the potential for him to be in that role on a permanent basis? I mean, it's really, like you said, it's a tough spot to be. You have we had 3 games to change something, and I think he changed the energy. I think the guys were woken up a little bit. The guys had more energy. He
made us believe in something, and we played good. You know, we played a seven game series with probably the best team in NBA, and we had opportunity, we had chances. So, you know, I think he did a really good job.
And as far as the future goes for him, your
I'm not the guy to add. I mean, it's above my pay grade.
Nikola, the Thunder, they tried to make a point to wear you guys down with their depth throughout this series. You guys were obviously playing a shorter rotation for most of it. Maybe this is above your pay grade too, but as far as depth, what do you sort of think this team needs most going forward?
Like you said, it's above my. But yes, we definitely need probably. I think we played so long for such a way, and you know it's hard for the guys to step up and especially play, especially against two really good teams, Clippers and OKC. You know, we cannot ask for somebody who didn't play maybe 20, 30 games to jump in and like be good and like expect him to be good. You know, but like Julian step up, he was good. You know, Peyton. He was in a rotation, but you know he had some good minutes too. So definitely, seems like the teams that has a longer rotation, the longer bench, it's the one who are winning. Indiana was the name, OKC. So.
I know that listening to Jokic is a little hard, but what I can say is that, again, this is a guy who answers very humbly. He just talks about the game as he saw it. He talked about what they did poorly. He talked about how great his teammates were. He doesn't put his teammates down. He never blames them for anything. He just wins and he loses as a team, just as any player should do. So, you know, it's interesting. We'll see people say, oh, well, what did Jokic ever say after a game? It's not about what Jokic says. It's just about what he does. Critique his game on the floor, right? And critique what he says after the game. If he said something bad, he didn't say anything bad here. So we're fine with that. But I'm not fine with the turnovers that he has in a game. I mean, if we take a look, I mean, how many turnovers did he have? So he had a total of 5 turnovers. That's a lot. That's a lot in a playoff series. Russell Westbrook had 4. So that's 9 between the two of them. Gordon had 4. Gordon was also injured. So let's just say that. And I do want to address the comment that is on the screen. That's why I left it there so I wouldn't forget. Many people think Jokic is overrated. And yeah, I'm one of them. I think he is overrated. It's not that I don't think he's a good player in today's game, in today's modern NBA, because he is. It's just he's being compared to Wilt Chamberlain. He's being compared and being called the greatest center of all time. And the man cannot run, he cannot jump, and he cannot dunk the ball. Okay. And again, a body like what I just showed you guys on the screen, and you take a look at Wilt Chamberlain, those two they don't compare. They shouldn't be compared. That's the problem that I'm having. This guy right here scored 100 points in a game. He was a long jumper. He was he played so many sports. And we're really going to sit here and try to compare Jokic to Wilt Chamberlain? Please. So yes, Jokic is overrated to me. Especially when you try to go ahead and compare him to Wilt Chamberlain. That doesn't fly with me. Sorry. Can't get jiggy with it. I do want to take a moment and read our first super chat that came through. It's not that serious. Salute to you for the $20 super chat. Lady T, I was looking for your take in these series. Thank you for tonight's show. Thank you for joining. Really sorry that I haven't been here these past couple of days, but I really wanted to come in and give my thoughts about the Knicks. I really wanted to talk about just what I saw yesterday and in yesterday's game. And really, it was the bricks. It was the bricks that Denver shot. They shot themselves out of the game. They turned the ball over. I mean, they could not take care of the ball, and that's what lost them the game. Turnovers and missed shots. It's just that simple. So congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have not been to the Western Conference Finals in years. I believe it's 2012, right? When they went to the finals. That same year, they have never been back. So congratulations to them. I think that this is definitely bittersweet for Kevin Durant to see this level of success for that organization, for Russell Westbrook to be eliminated by his organization. That's definitely, it means something, right? And it lends to the idea of the NBA needing storylines, especially in the postseason. So I love it. I do want to move on to the next topic, and that's LeBron James. Okay. And I know I've been gone for a couple of days, but there's been so much LeBron news. He never gives us a night off from content, but sometimes a girl just needs a break. So I want to chat real quickly with you guys. And it's been said, right, that LeBron James, he's really just constantly trying to deflect and trying to figure out how to constantly pad his GOAT legacy, right? So when he loses, for all the losses that he's faced in the finals, he's 4-6. I believe Uncommon Sense says that he's part of the 4-6 kingdom. So he's the leader of the 4-6 kingdom. And when he loses, it's, oh, well, Michael Jordan never did this. Oh, this person didn't do this. The comparison is LeBron James to Michael Jordan, which is what he wanted. He wanted to be compared to Michael Jordan. He came into the league wearing 23, saying he wants to be compared to Michael Jordan, saying he wants to be better than Michael Jordan. So if you want to be better than Michael Jordan, you've got to eclipse the things that he's done. You can't be better than Michael Jordan by saying, oh, well, I just did these other things over here. No, you have to do things greater than Michael Jordan did it to say that you're better than him. That's just common sense, right? But I guess common sense is not so common. And Yahoo Sports, and I love Yahoo Sports because we randomly find stuff, but it was Dreamers Pro that talked about this as well as Uncommon Sense. And they talked about LeBron James criticizing Michael Jordan's 6 rings. They act like he just did it all on his own. This is what LeBron James was being quoted. And he argues that Michael Jordan gets too much credit for his championships. And he says, I don't think MJ ever had a game 7 in the finals. LeBron James once said this in 2016. And people say, oh, well, he was able to close it out early. And they act like he just did it all on his own. They forget about the shot by John Paxson on the left wing. You want to know the crazy thing? In that particular game in Phoenix, MJ didn't even have the ball in his hands. Scottie Pippen brought the ball up. Charles Barkley went for the steal. Pippen threw it down to Horace Grant, and that got the defense out of place because Barkley went for the gamble. They rotated to Horace Grant, and Horace Grant threw it to Paxson. MJ didn't have nothing to do with that play. He further pointed out. Sheesh. LeBron James just can't help himself. He can't stop hating on Michael Jordan. And the question is, it begs the question when you read something like this, right? Who's really hating here? Is LeBron James the real hater? He says that everybody's hating on him. Everybody hated. Nobody wanted him to win a title. Everybody was rooting for him to lose. That is the narrative that he claims to be true, right? That's what he says. So he makes these hating ass comments on Michael Jordan. By the way, I remember when he said these things back then, it was all just to, bash the older era. He wanted to reject the comparison to Michael Jordan because it's standards that he couldn't reach. So any standard of Michael Jordan's that he can't reach or surpass, that doesn't matter. We have to just suspend it. It's kind of like literary suspension, right? We know something is true. We know that 6-0 is better than 4-6, or 6 beats 4, or 10 scoring titles beats 1 scoring title. We know that. We know that 10 is greater than 1, but somehow LeBron James, Clutch Sports, the La Media, the 4-6 kingdom, they decide to say that these things are not true. Somehow 1 scoring title is better than 10. Somehow 4 titles is better than 6. They will spin it that way, right? And so it's funny because Michael Jordan, years ago also, he responds to this, and he says, he talked in, it's funny because Michael Jordan, he had an interview with Ahmad Rashad, and he talks about what would have happened perhaps if he kept playing. What would have happened? And he says it was a very sad situation because we never lost in the finals. Michael Jordan said that in 2013 in an interview with Ahmad Rashad. I never knew what it felt like. At least if you're gonna think I'll be the king of the hill until somebody knocks you down there, you can shake the hand and say, you enjoy now. You're going to see how difficult it is, but it never happened. Now we have to live the rest of our lives with this idea that we could have won 7, we could have won 8, or we could have won 9, the LeBron thing. But we were halfway there. We could have done all that. But for whatever reason, it was not meant to be. And that was considered Michael Jordan taking a dig at Michael James. We could have won 7, we could have won 8, or we could have won 9, the LeBron thing. I find that to be so hilarious, and the shade is so real, and I love it. But the funny thing is, they might have been able to win 7. They might have been able to win 8 titles. Imagine if Michael Jordan never retired. Imagine if he didn't retire the first time. Forget the second time, but the first time. Even after this hating on Michael Jordan, at some point in maybe, I think it was 2016, I'll never forget, Michael Jordan was at the podium, and he says, he was asked about LeBron James, and he was asked about the GOAT debate. He was flat out asked about it, and he says, we're playing in different eras, and he is an unbelievable player. That's what he said of LeBron at one point. He is one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. I know it's a natural tendency to compare eras to eras, and it's going to continue to happen. I'm a fan of his, and I love watching him play. But as you can see, our league is starting to expand on very talented players. That's very interesting. I think basically what he was trying to say is maybe he's the best, but maybe he's not, and probably not going to continue to be the best if he is right now. And then he continues to say, I think he made his mark and will continue to do so over a period of time. The 6-time champion added of James, but when you start the comparisons, I think it is what it is. And it's just a standard of measurement. I take it with a grain of salt, and he is a great basketball player without a doubt. So I loved Michael Jordan's comments because they're very demure, they're very classy, but he's also saying like, hey, I'm the standard. If you want to get compared to me, then you have to recognize that there's standards here. And we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do the comparisons because they don't line up. That was his whole point, really, with that. But of course, LeBron fans won't see it that way. And when we talk about winning, when we talk about standards, LeBron James couldn't reach the standard. He couldn't reach the heights. So he had to knock everybody else down. And that's what he continues to do as he moves into a media space, as he sunsets his career. It's, I'm going to tear everybody else down so that I can be remembered as the greatest. But people just aren't going to remember it like that. And people are combating him, and people are coming out left and right. You have Michael Jordan coming back to NBA on NBC because they're just not going to let LeBron take over the sport. There's good and there's evil. Clutch Sports has been the evil in the NBA that's taken over. He's had a bunch of media just creating narratives for him and a bunch of lies and trying to defend him. That's their career. He has people that work for him that are paid literally just to defend him all day. It's ridiculous. Is LeBron James the real hater? I think so. And he uses Mind the Game to be a hater. He uses Pat McAfee to be a hater. When is it going to end? He uses ESPN. He hates on the older generation and Michael Jordan through Nick Wright, through a slew of other media talking heads. It's just interesting because Michael Jordan, they're just not even, they shouldn't really even be spoken in the same breath. Michael Jordan doesn't have time for this kind of pettiness. And it brings us to our next topic, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, he didn't care a whole lot about what was said about him. And he did in the way that he allowed for it to fuel him. So when people said that he couldn't win, when people said that he was just a scorer, the media attacked Michael Jordan too. They said he would never win a title. Some of the same things that LeBron James went through in his early career, the comparisons, the criticism. Michael Jordan was constantly compared to Wilt Chamberlain, somebody who had played 40 years before him. So, and he didn't ask for that. He didn't come into the NBA wearing Wilt Chamberlain's number. He didn't come into the NBA saying he was the greatest of all time and wanted to be compared to Wilt. He just came in, he played his game. He said he wanted to dominate his era and he wanted to be one of the greatest of all time. He wanted that, but he didn't want the comparison to Wilt. He didn't want Wilt Chamberlain coming out criticizing him. He didn't want that smoke that he got. He never asked for that. That's the truth. But he got it. He had a media shitstorm rained all over him. And it was especially what they said about him not being able to score. Michael Jordan just could not score the basketball. And, you know, Michael Jordan, he's coming back to NBC. So he's coming back to NBC. We talked about that, right? And today we actually got some clarity. We got a lot more clarity in Michael Jordan's return to NBC and what that's going to look like. So breaking news today, after the deal had been announced, Michael Jordan also publicly acknowledged this partnership with NBC. And he said, "I'm so excited to see the NBA back on NBC. The NBA on NBC was a meaningful part of my career, and I'm excited about being a special contributor to the project. I'm looking forward to seeing you all when the NBA on NBC launches this October." And so following all of this, you know, Nick Wright, he decided to make a disgusting joke that the NBC should have MJ on as their gambling expert. I just found that to be really rude. But it is what it is. Nick Wright doesn't have much respect for himself. But the clarity that we've been given is that basically he's going to be Michael Jordan he's going to do some pre-recordings. He's not going to cover any live segments for NBC. Okay. So I just want to be clear on that. It was breaking news today, but back to Michael Jordan and his criticism. Okay. He was criticized greatly. They said he couldn't score. And back in 1997, he did this interview and it was called Reflections of a Dynasty. He did it alongside Phil Jackson and Scottie Pippen. It was really heartwarming. And here's just a little clip of what they all had to say about their very first championship. And in this Reflections of a Dynasty, and I'll be covering this more throughout the week, I'm going to continue to pull out different clips from this interview. It's a 2-hour-long interview, really, really good. And it just takes you through the journey of their titles and winning as a team, really, and what they thought, some of the narratives that were created and how they played through it, how they won through it, most importantly. And, you know, Michael Jordan, he crushed the narratives by winning. That's the bottom line. He crushed the narratives by winning. So let's hear what they had to say, and we'll react.
You know, it's kind of funny, but when they walked off the court before the game was over, what were you guys thinking?
It didn't bother us. We felt like we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish.
They showed their true colors. They really did.
I mean,
That's the answer I was looking for.
for the first 3 or 4 years that we faced this team, every time they would knock us out, I mean, it hurt us to go over there and shake their hand. We showed the sportsmanship that, to support them from the Eastern Conference to go on and be successful. And we just knew because of their personality and the way that they, their rivalry against us, that they were going to pay the same respects back. But they didn't have to, because we knew that we dominated the series and we knew we were over that hump, and we didn't have any fear. We thought we were a superior team.
Okay, so you go to the Lakers series. Game 1, Chicago Stadium. People have been waiting for this for years, for 20-some years in Chicago Bulls history. Sam Perkins hits a three-pointer at the end, and you're down 1-0 and you're about to join the 69 Cubs. What were you thinking then?
We were very nervous, first of all. It's the first time we made it to a final, and everyone was saying, well, you have to go to a final the first time to lose, so you know how to win it the second time. And I guess when we had an opportunity to win the ball game the first game, even though we didn't play our best basketball, we took a moral victory from that. And from that point forward, we felt we were better as a team, more mature as a team, and ready to accept the challenge. And I think we went back to the drawing board more or less and drew up our strategies and stuck right to it, and we never really had a problem after that.
I got to ask you, the lasting image, I don't care how many championships you guys win, will be of you with the cap on, the trophy embraced, and crying on the trophy. Can you give us your thoughts? What were you thinking then? What was that all about?
It was an unbelievable feeling. I've been here at the time, I was here for 8 years almost. And, the saying was the Chicago Bulls would never win with the scoring leader. Michael Jordan scored too many points, and, that there's no way that they would be able to win. And, it was gratifying to see that all, the so-called perfect critics who knew the game were totally wrong about me as a basketball player being able to adjust to a certain system, and yet still as a team, we can evolve and become a championship team in the city of Chicago. So, I mean, all those frustrations and those expectations that the fans or that the sports writers had about me as a person and about this organization was put to rest. And that was a gratifying feeling.
When, in that game in the fourth quarter, they started to focus on Michael and the defense. And I said, Michael, just find Pax. He's going to, they're all attacking you. And everything, about Michael is that, he takes a challenge and he rises to a challenge. Well, I knew that the challenge is that Michael comes out and has a 40-point game. We win the championship. What a great way to do it. But he had to sacrifice a little bit of that, just drop it over to Pax and let Pax nail those shots. I don't know what he had, 6, 7 shots in a row. It was just something to watch. It was a piece of work, and we were able to just control that game from that point on. But it was a team effort, and he showed exactly what it takes to win a championship, and that is that it has to be a team. It's the way it is.
Yeah, Michael's kind of a control freak of these things when he gets to this stage on the floor, isn't he?
Yes. I mean, as Phil said, he takes everything as a challenge.
Absolutely.
During that game, I think that he realized that, he had to distribute the ball and use his ability to draw the defense and pitch the ball. And that's something that he realized that he's good at, whether or not he'd like to do it or not.
I guess that's the final act of selflessness that you talk about.
That was it. That was the team play that it took. Besides, we've always played team defense. I mean, that's always been there. We know we had to play as a team to help each other out in defense. But the offensive end, I mean, Michael makes scoring so easy that sometimes it's hard for him to give it up because he can do it so well. I've never seen anybody do it quite so well. But this time, he had to move it on because they were all coming, and it was 3-on-1, and so he just made the simple thing to do.
When we come back, the second chance.
You heard it. That was just the very first title that they won that he was reflecting on. And, I played a little bit, more than what I initially planned, just because before he started talking about that, he did talk about the elimination of the Pistons and finally getting over that hump, and the fact that, Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons, they walked off the court. They didn't shake their hand. They displayed maybe what could have been perceived as poor sportsmanship. To me, I thought nothing of it. When I heard of the Bulls complaining about this, I thought they were being a bunch of crybabies. So what? They didn't shake your hand. Get over it. Deal with it. You won. They didn't. Goodbye. So what? I think what Michael Jordan was going through at that time with Isaiah Thomas is the same thing that some other people go through when they come into the league. So he wanted to be accepted, I think, by Isaiah Thomas. He wanted to be friends. And they They froze him out in the All-Star game. I think that Isaiah Thomas did little funny things to him. He just wasn't in with, he wasn't quite in with Isaiah Thomas and who those guys were hanging out with. He wasn't quite in with that crowd. He didn't get the kiss on the cheek like Magic Johnson did. It wasn't like that. So, initially, Michael Jordan probably felt left out. That's what I think. And I think as far as LeBron James is concerned, I think for one, he can't reach the heights that Michael Jordan reached. He can't reach the standard. He's being compared to a standard that he can't meet, right? So when you can't meet the standard of excellence, what do? You deflect. I see it even at work. When I'm coaching somebody on their performance, they love to deflect to what someone else told them, what someone else is doing. I don't give a damn about that. Right now, we're talking about you. You don't know what I'm coaching someone else to. You have no idea, what those conversations look like. We're talking about you and we're talking about your performance, but yet you want to tell me what Susie and Sally did. These are classic things. But I think the root cause of what LeBron James goes through, and Uncommon Sense thinks that it's insecurity. And I think that that's part of it. But even deeper than that, what do we think is the root of the insecurity? Where do these insecurities come from? LeBron James wants acceptance from basketball players. He wants acceptance from NBA fans all over the world, people he doesn't know, right? He wants all the acceptance in the world, but he doesn't just want it from NBA fans. He also wanted it from Michael Jordan. LeBron James is sort of like a child that couldn't get any attention from their parent. He didn't have a father. He barely had a father figure. So when you don't have a dad and you get into the NBA and this is your dream to do this your whole life, your whole career, this is what you've been waiting for, to make it into the NBA, and your idol, the person you look up to the most, doesn't really want to have much to do with you and the circus that you bring since you entered the league. And look, Michael Jordan was leaving. He was retiring. So his relationship, I don't see how he would have really had a relationship with LeBron. It wasn't like people want to say, oh, he wasn't helpful to LeBron. Oh, he didn't mentor him. He wasn't in the league anymore. Kobe Bryant was supposed to be his mentor, but LeBron James wanted to skip past him. And people always want upward connection. They want to move up so much, but they don't value cross connection. They don't value the people that are right in front of them. And for some reason, they're always looking past or upward. Like, oh, I will have arrived if I am connected and I'm networking with this person. But imagine how much further we can grow together, two people who are doing the same thing that also want to do well. So I do wish that LeBron James focused on having mentorships in the NBA more so than he did on Michael Jordan, and the lack of acceptance that Michael Jordan was giving him. I mean, he's had some good mentors in the NBA. Think about it. He had Dwayne Wade. He got to work alongside a guy like that, a player like that. But he didn't capture a relationship with Michael Jordan. He wasn't able to build that relationship. And I wonder if he ever even called Michael Jordan, or did he expect that Michael Jordan was just supposed to come down and kiss his feet? I'm confused. But to me, all this stems from is the fact that Michael Jordan won't give LeBron any attention. He barely speaks of him, and he just doesn't really. He doesn't get involved. He never did. He certainly isn't going to say that anybody from this era is the greatest. That's never going to happen. So I don't know. I just don't know what else LeBron James could be possibly looking for. You're not going to be able to draw Michael Jordan out. So all the smack that he was talking about, the eras and all of that, Michael Jordan's never going to reply to that. He's just not. And just so you guys know, for anybody who's 2 years old or born after the year 2000, Michael Jordan isn't better than David Robinson, let alone Wilt Chamberlain. I'm sorry, not Michael Jordan. LeBron James is not better than David Robinson, let alone Wilt Chamberlain. We have to stop this, guys. We just have to stop this. But I do want to read some of the super chats that came through. Badanana, MJ had crowds of women fainting in his presence. LeBron, the only person I've seen where he pays dudes to faint for him. That's hilarious. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It's not that serious. Thank you for a $5 super chat. Really appreciate you. From an analytical standpoint, LeBron is the inverse of MJ. For the uninformed, look that up. You're so funny. You guys crack me up. Badanana, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Sad that it's facts. LeBron doesn't know how to be a man without a father figure, and he's still looking for something that's never coming back. Absolutely. I mean, I can't possibly see how speaking so negatively about the past eras gives him the attention from Michael Jordan that he wants. You're desperate for his attention, for his affection, really. When you see LeBron James and Michael Jordan at the 75th anniversary for the NBA, you can see how elated he was and how he just had so much joy to be embracing Michael Jordan. It looked like he saw his hero. And so it is a little bit sad that LeBron James and Michael Jordan couldn't have had a closer relationship. I think that it would have helped LeBron a lot. I think that it would have made him a better winner. I think that it would have made him a better person. But the truth of the matter is that that's where the insecurity really stems from. The insecurity is rooted in not having a dad, not having a father figure, wanting so much and wanting so badly for MJ to be that father figure, wanting to have that relationship that he had with Kobe Bryant and that mentorship that he couldn't get. And I don't blame Michael Jordan, because LeBron should not have tried to skip over Kobe Bryant to get to him. It's just like, I have managers that work for me, and if someone on their team skips over them to, if someone is trying to bypass them, go around them to ask me for something, I am very annoyed by that. I don't respect it at all. And I don't reward that kind of behavior. So Michael Jordan could have had the same attitude that I have. Hey, you need to go to your leader who's currently playing. That's Kobe Bryant. You need to get past him. You need to be mentored by him. This is not my responsibility. And that's basically what LeBron James is saying about Luka Doncic, and he's still playing. They're on the same team, and he's saying, well, that's not my responsibility. But LeBron James wanted Michael Jordan to babysit him, to be a dad to him, be, this father figure to him. But anyway, guys, I do want to open the phone lines up. I have time for one phone call, so give me a call. Talk to me nice. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what everyone has to say. What do you guys think about this topic? I'll read some more comments in the meantime. He's not a man. LeBum is a child. Sabrina, you crack me up, girl. Sheesh. LeBrick has no daddy. Ooh, sheesh. I can't even finish reading that. Brother Juma, salute to you. Salute to all the moderators who are here tonight. Thanks for holding me down. Really appreciate you guys. You're all amazing. And if you guys haven't done so already, do me a favor and like the video. Looks like we have our first and last caller for the night. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice. Thanks for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice. Oh, wait. So sorry. So sorry. I had you on mute. Thanks for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. What's up, Dominique? First time caller. I'm going to continue to, go on my LeBron James tirade. I think that LeBron James is his name in the GOAT debate is disrespectful to the game of basketball in general. I'm not saying that LeBron James is not a great player as far as, all-time great, top 75, yada, yada, yada. But to even put him in the top 5, to me, he's maybe top 10. I got him somewhere in the Shaq territory, either above or below Shaq. But my main problem with LeBron James is the fact that he continues to disrespect the game, and it seems like the basketball community enables it. And, I don't want to talk too much about like the Diddy trial or whatever, but one thing that came out of that is that he's kind of like a bully. And it seems like LeBron James is kind of like a bully in the NBA. People's always apologetic when they say critical things about him. Whenever there's a critique, they're a bully. The only person that don't really follow the script is Shaq. And, I got to say, LeBron James won the Shaq and the Fool MVP. So, I thought, so he has 5 MVPs now.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that tonight, but I didn't have time. That was hilarious. The Shaq and a Fool. And Shaq made it clear that like he didn't force that award because, he was. It's funny to me that he needed to say that, but you're right. He is a bully, though. It's because LeBron James is a bully. It's because he tries to get people fired, removed from teams, all kinds of things. He utilizes and abuses his power in ways that, a regular person could only imagine. And I just think that, and I love this call, by the way. Thank you so much for calling in, and I appreciate you being a first-time caller. But yeah, LeBron James is a bully. I think that he knows, and I think he's always known that he's never going to be the GOAT.
Hello?
Yeah. Are you there, Michael?
Oh yeah, there we go. Dropped out. Okay. Yes, I 100% agree. I just want to just end with this, and anybody that I just find it funny that people call in, and I just want to ask you this question, and I'll take it off air. Do you believe that Clutch Sports pays people to call YouTube channels to advocate for LeBron James? And I'll end on that.
No, I don't. I think that people really believe what they're saying. I think, and here's what I really think. I think that LeBron James is such a polarizing person that so many people out there relate to him. The one thing about athletes that I think that we can all agree on is that they've been in the past, they've been considered these superheroes. They've been these, athletic heroes. Nobody thought that they could play like Michael Jordan, right? They might have wanted to, but nobody thought that. Nobody thought that they could be like Michael Jordan. And so today's players, they have such a human element. They get mental health illness just like we do. I mean, look at Ben Simmons. He can't shoot the ball. He's afraid to get on the court and play. Anthony Edwards had panic attacks, on his way to games. LeBron James, panic attacks, complete meltdowns. So when you see people who maybe they can't perform because of their lack of mental toughness, I think a lot of people relate to that, and they just feel for LeBron. He also grew up with no father. He kept mentioning how he's the kid from Akron with no dad his whole career. Every award that he ever won, every time that something happened, he would say, "I'm not supposed to be here. I'm just a kid from Akron." Even though he was an adult in the NBA. So he's always referred to himself as a kid. He's always talked about his humble beginnings, even though I'm sure he's been getting whatever he wanted since probably middle school, whenever he moved in with that white family and went to that private school. So I don't think so. Yes, maybe in his early years he might have struggled, but I think a lot of people relate to that. And then you have so many people that this is the only basketball that they've ever seen, saying that Michael Jordan is a GOAT. So I think that that's why I don't think that people get paid to call into these YouTube shows. I do think that the mainstream media is paid, but I don't think LeBron James has time to play around in the weeds with us. Now, not with us. Now, perhaps Gilbert Arenas, Pat McAfee, he's in the pockets of those guys. You know what I mean? But not not like the small time YouTube content creators like myself. He's not worried
Well,
about
fair
me.
enough. Thanks a lot, Dominique. I'll continue to watch.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for calling in. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
All right, peace.
Bye-bye. So guys, we have time for just one more caller. I think Sabrina called, so call back in, Sabrina. I know you wanted to share your thoughts. I have about a minute left or so to stay live. So if you're not going to call in, we'll end here. But let's see if we got any more comments. Oh, young disciple, we do miss you. They're asking for you. I don't have time for a young disciple call tonight, but I just want to thank everybody for joining the live. It's just always so much fun to come in here and chop it up with you guys and talk about sports. I really appreciate all of you. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and share the video. Let's grow the Sports Tea community to be really big. Here she goes. Here's Sabrina. Here's my girl. Thanks for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice, Sabrina.
Let me turn TV on me.
Yes, yes, yes. Talk to me nice. So MJ, like Michael Jordan, he crushed the narratives by winning, right? And we've heard some of the things that LeBron James said. Do you think LeBron James is the real hater? What do you think in this situation?
Well, we heard the information given to us how he said he wanted to erase Michael Jordan. Yeah, he's a hater. He hates the fact that he wasn't able to live up to his own hype.
I couldn't have said it better. Honestly, that was just the TKO. He hates that he couldn't live up to his own hype, not the hype that we put on him, his own hype.
Yep.
What he said
He
about
hates the fact-
himself. He said that he was the GOAT. Live up to it.
Yep.
Go live up to it, LeBron. Show us. Show
Well,
us
he
that you're
did
the
live up
GOAT.
to it. Cut it out, sis. He did live up to it.
Greatest of all time in turnovers?
No, going on another team. That's what it means when you relate to LeBron. It doesn't mean greatest like Michael Jordan.
Going on
He
another
lived up
team.
to it.
I know. He did live up to it. He did. He did.
I wanted to talk about everything. I was hoping the segment would be very short, talking about LeBron. We don't need to be talking about that bum no more.
I'm
He
here.
don't know what he's gonna do with himself come next year because Michael Jordan's back in the fray.
Oh man, Sabrina, I absolutely love when you called. Did you want to say any last thoughts before we go?
That man, Sabrina's a Kappa. No, I'm not a Kappa. I see. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, I wanted to talk about the Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks. Go Knicks.
Yeah, well, they came full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah, the last time they got bumped out of the third round, it was against the Pacers
That's right. So we have to,
back in 2000.
we are full circle. Is
come full circle.
history going to repeat itself? That's what we need to know.
Yeah, but I hope and pray that one of them does. One of the players don't wind up like Stephen Curry and come up with a muscle strain because
Well, let's
Thibodeau, I don't know
not
what
put
his
that in the
problem
air.
is.
Let's not put that in the air, Sabrina. Thibodeau.
I mean, they were winning by 30 mod points, and he still had those starters in that last game way too long.
I know. He just plays them like 89 million
I mean, I was
minutes.
cussing the TV like, what the
I
hell?
know.
What's wrong with this man?
I know. And I mean, I tried to say something positive and say that he makes the team more resilient. He makes them tougher. So, hopefully we can get out of the conference finals and to the finals. That's my hope for my Knicks. Go New York. Go New York.
Yeah,
Go New York. Go.
Yeah, this been the best. This has actually been the best playoff in 2 decades.
Absolutely. So I'm looking
Even though some
forward to it.
teams didn't win that they wanted to win, but this has been the best team. I mean, the best
Absolutely.
playoffs in 2 decades.
Absolutely. Well,
Literally.
Thank you so much for calling in, Sabrina. We're gonna get ready to end the live, but thank you for your call. I really appreciate you.
All right.
All righty.
All right. You
I'll
have
see
a
you
good
soon.
night.
Yes, you have a
Okay.
good night
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All righty, guys. It's that time. It's that time. And there were a couple of people in the chat asking for this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Coach, how do you wait, where is it? Is it this one?
Second round.
No.
Who's
Yes, it's this one.
Who's gonna tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs?
I'm here to do my black job. I'm here to do my black job.
Those black jobs, one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs?
Attorney General.
Might be one of those black jobs.
Vice President.
Might be one of those black jobs.
President.
Might be one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs?
Attorney General.
Might be one of those black jobs.
Vice President.
Might be one of those black jobs.
President Kamala Harris.
Might be one of those black jobs. Those
Oh, you guys asked for it, so I went ahead and played it. But yeah, I mean, LeBron's just out there giving away all the black jobs. Oh my gosh, that one cracks me up all day, all night. I can't get enough. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, do me a big favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the video. Share this video out. Let's grow the sports tea community. Let's blow it up big. I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.